Jubilant Sykes, a life of musical brilliance cut tragically short. Jubilant Sykes, 1954 to 2025, was an American baritone whose voice defied boundaries and reimagined what classical singing could be. His instrument, lush, molten, and startlingly flexible, moved effortlessly from the grandeur of opera to the spiritual weight of gospel, the improvisational spark of jazz, and the earthy intimacy of folk. Critics praised his razor-sharp versatility, describing a voice that seemed impossible to confine to any single category. Audiences around the world were drawn to the fiery immediacy he brought to every performance, and he earned admiration not only from major publications like the New York Times but also from leaders such as President Barack Obama, who once thanked him for giving your gift to the world. Across a luminous career, Sykes graced some of the world's most celebrated stages. His performances resounded through the Metropolitan Opera, the Deutsche Oper Berlin, Carnegie Hall, the Kennedy Center, London's Barbican Center, the Hollywood Bowl, and even the Apollo Theater. Wherever he appeared, he carried with him a singular ability to blend operatic arias with spirituals, building musical bridges across cultural landscapes and touching listeners of every background. Awards and honors. Sykes' professional journey was marked by accolades that reflected the depth of his innovation and artistry. In 2010, he earned a Grammy nomination for Best Classical Album for his transformative portrayal of the celebrant in Leonard Bernstein's Mass, recorded with the Morgan State University Choir and the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra under Marin Alsop. Gramophone magazine hailed the Naxos release as an editor's choice, praising its emotional scope and technical brilliance. Beyond the stage, Sykes served as artistic advisor to Orchestra Santa Monica, where both his narration and performances were cherished for their generosity and kindness, as noted by music director Roger Kalia. His collaborative spirit brought him together with luminaries across genres, Christopher Parkening, Julie Andrews, Renee Fleming, Josh Groban, solidifying his reputation as a bold, genre-defying trailblazer. Net worth and assets. At the time of his passing, Sykes' net worth was estimated at $1 to $3 million. His income stemmed from decades of touring, album releases, teaching engagements, and select appearances in film and theater. His primary asset was the family home on Delaware Avenue in Santa Monica's quiet Pico neighborhood, where he lived with his wife and where the tragic events unfolded. Though unpretentious in its presentation, his home and accumulated wealth reflected a life devoted to artistic excellence rather than lavishness, with royalties from projects like Mass contributing to his long-term financial stability. Early life. Born in 1954 in Los Angeles to an African-American family, Sykes was given his vibrant name intentionally, a declaration of joy from his mother. His gift for singing emerged early. As a young child he performed soprano in local churches and community gatherings, where his innate musicality quickly revealed itself. Growing up in the culturally rich expanse of South Los Angeles, he absorbed the intricate harmonies of gospel choirs, the improvisational threads of jazz, and the soulful resonance of spirituals. These early influences shaped the eclectic sensibility that later defined his artistry, ultimately transforming a child's bright soprano into the commanding, expressive baritone that would captivate the world. Personal life. Sykes built a deeply rooted family life in Southern California, where he lived with his wife, Cecilia, until his passing. Together they raised 3 sons, including their 31-year-old son, Micah. Loved ones remembered Sykes as a man of profound faith, warmth, and exuberance, a person whose very presence embodied the meaning of his name. Dave Kleinecht, an associate at Pacific Crossroads Church, described him as someone who carried jubilation for everything in life. Even at the height of his international career, Sykes maintained strong ties to his community. He performed at local venues, mentored young singers, and welcomed creativity into his home, which served as a refuge of music and family connection. Underneath this closeness, however, were challenges, including Micah's documented struggles with mental illness, context that authorities later acknowledged when attempting to understand the circumstances surrounding Sykes' death. Professional career. Sykes launched his professional career in the 1980s, building on classical foundations that soon expanded into a wide-ranging and boundary-breaking musical odyssey. He debuted in grand opera houses such as the Arena di Verona and went on to perform in hundreds of concerts worldwide. His appearances ranged from the high-energy atmosphere of the New Orleans Jazz Festival to the disciplined refinement of the Gerzenik Orchestra Cologne. His discography, featuring self-titled albums that juxtaposed spirituals with operatic arias, showcased the full breadth of his vocal power. The Orange County Register praised his striking range, from concrete floor at the deep lower end to a hovering, stratospheric top. In later years, Sykes expanded into acting, including a role in the 2023 suspense thriller Finn, while continuing to narrate orchestral works and teach aspiring artists. Through every endeavor, he remained anchored by an unforced center of personal expression, as described by the Los Angeles Times. The tragic end, what led to the stabbing and his death. On the night of December 8, 2025, Sykes' life came to a devastating and unimaginable end inside his Santa Monica home. At approximately 9:20 p.m., Cecilia Sykes made a desperate 911 call, reporting an assault in progress. When officers entered the residence, they discovered the 71-year-old singer with severe stab wounds. Paramedics quickly arrived but were unable to save him, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. His son, Micah, was found inside the home and was taken into custody without resistance. A weapon was recovered and he was booked on suspicion of homicide. The case was forwarded to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for review. Authorities described the situation as an isolated domestic incident, and while the exact cause remains under investigation, Micah's history of mental illness was noted as a possible contextual factor. No previous altercation had been reported that evening. Neighbors in the tight-knit Pico community expressed profound shock and sorrow. Many remembered Sykes as a beloved figure whose presence brought warmth and inspiration. His death, occurring just days before this account, cast a heavy shadow over the global music world he helped shape, prompting an outpouring of tributes and a renewed appreciation for the brilliance he shared throughout his extraordinary life. Thank you for watching. Share with your family and friends. Subscribe and click on the bell notification so as not to miss our next uploads.